All right, everyone, we're live for the second podcast today. Special edition, Monday, July 25th. We are going to preview UFC 277. We'll also talk about Dana White's Contender Series 47. So a lot to talk about today, guys. I'm looking forward to this. We got 13 fights at UFC 277 this Saturday. It's going to be a good card, I think. Marcel, just your thoughts, man, overall on the card. I always ask you this, but what's your thoughts on this pay-per-view?
I think the pay-per-view is fire. I think the prelims kind of suck, And I'm gonna be honest here. I think for a pay-per-view, those prelims are really hard. There are a few good ones. I mean, Rafael Alves against Drew Dober is a fun one. Matt Semelsberger against Morono is a fun one. But a lot of these prelims, no disrespect, but I really can't give a fuck about it. I think they should have stacked it a little bit more. But if I then see the card the next week, I understand why they didn't stack it anymore. So
no, for sure. Let's get some comments. Hi, Dutch Snorlax. That's Marcel. Wants us happy birthday.
Thank you.
Gordo Gambles. Let's go. Let's do it. Glenn saying there's lots of tickets left. I never look at the ticket sales, but I know you're one of the guys that does look at it. It's not super surprising to me. I gotta be honest. I thought they were a little risky going with Pena and Nunes as the main event. Usually Nunes is actually co-main event, so a little risky. I think the pay-per-view card is awesome, though, so I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Tristan, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Glad to have you here. All right, let's do the podcast more, so let's just get into it. So we have 13 fights to talk about today, guys. We're going to give our picks for all of them. UFC Stats doesn't have the actual correct bout order at this point. They have a lot of fights that fell off still. A lot of guys that got injured are still listed. So I'm actually going to be using the Tapology order today because I believe they have the correct order, Marcel, so we'll use that. Let's get into it. I'm looking forward to talking about this with you, Marcel. So let's start with the first fight of the night, and it is a welterweight bout here between Orion, Cosce, and Blood Diamond, Marcel. So looking forward to this one. Should be interesting to see how this one plays out. Probably doesn't go the distance based on how these guys fight. Right now we have Orion Cosce minus 175, plus 150 on Blood Diamond. What do you think, Marcel? Who's your pick?
Yeah, who's my pick? That's an amazing question, Adam. Orion Cosce, we saw him in the Contender Series alongside with his brother. Got a really solid win against Matt Dixon there, man. I think Matt Dixon was a pretty big favorite coming into that fight, if I can remember correctly. But Cosce got it done. Then fought Philip Rowe and completely fell apart in the second round and got stopped by Phil Rowe. Blood Diamond made his debut against Jeremiah Wells. Almost was lucky when Jeremiah Wells got stuck in the cage. He was running for some reason. I still don't know what he was doing there. But yeah, man, this is pretty much like, what are we going to see? Is Blood Diamond getting a quick finish via knockout, or is Cosce fighting smart and going with his wrestling? You know what I mean? It's a pick 'em to me, man. It can go either way. I feel more confident in picking Cosce, man. I'm going with Cosce decision win. And let's hope he doesn't gas out this time.
I feel the same way. I honestly feel like this is kind of a pick 'em fight, and I don't really see why he's minus 175 here. Like, how could you really trust this guy after the last fight, guys? Like, he was looking good in the ground. His ground game is definitely good, and that's why I'm picking him here. But he gassed out so bad and then got destroyed in the feet. So just hard to, I think, be confident in Ryan Cosce here, in my opinion, Marcel, after that loss. Because it's just so brutal the way he got knocked out. And he hasn't fought in a while now, right? That was last July. So it's been a year since he's been in the cage. He's been obviously out for a while. But I think they've been booked twice now, and they both got injured, if I'm not mistaken, both guys. So it's kind of weird that they're fighting for a third time. But I'm glad they made the match. They obviously trained for each other. I just can't really pick Blood Diamond. I took a shot at him against Wells. It was a stupid pick. Wells is a very good fighter. And just the way he got finished so quickly in the ground, that's why I have to pick Cosce. But I'll tell you, Marcel, if it stays in the feet, he can get knocked out here too. That's why I can't bet on him. So Cosce's the pick. I think he'll probably get a submission. If I had to guess, that would be how I think he'll win. But I think there's a very good chance he gets knocked out, Marcel. It's just not a fight I would definitely bet on at all. I would stay the hell away from this one. Let's get some comments here. Excited to see a real match of Blood Diamond. Sink or swim for him. Cosce doesn't have cardio. That's the problem, right? Like, he gassed out so bad in the last fight. It's crazy. Jason Witt and Cosce both out-wrestled Phil Rowe for the first round, and they both got brutally knocked out. So Rowe's got power. There's no doubt about it, but still, like, the cardio faded so bad. Cosce's lock. I mean, I wouldn't say that, man, personally. If you want to bet on him, fair enough, but I wouldn't say it. Another happy birthday. Sinister, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, buddy. Another Discord guy here. Nice to see you, bud. All right, so that's it for the first fight. We'll go to the next one here. Next fight is Nicolae Negumereanu against Ihor Potieria. And this fight, obviously, in the 205-pound division right now. Ihor is the favorite, Marcel. Minus 145, plus 125 on Nicolae. So what's your thoughts on this fight, Marcel?
I actually want to hear your thoughts about this fight before I give mine, because I think this is a tricky one.
Yeah, it's tricky, I think, for sure, because Ihor looked great on Contender Series, right? But again, a lot of people were talking about Twitter, but like it's something I broke down these fights about a week ago, just looking through them. I mean, the level of competition he's fought is very low, so the record's padded. It's 20-2, but like who has he fought? You know what I mean, Marcel? Whereas Nick, he's been in the UFC now. This is his, fifth fight in the UFC. He's been fighting not great competition, but like decent competition. And obviously he beat Kennedy. It was a close fight, but he won. I think his striking's really good, and he's tough. So I just have more faith in him, Marcel, at this level. Like, remember, like, this is this guy's debut, and he's never fought. This is probably the best opponent Igor has ever fought, right? In my opinion, in his whole career. Nicolae's a UFC veteran at this point, and he's still improving, I think, too. To be honest with you, Marcel, I think the odds should be flipped. I think he should be favored. So I'm taking Nicolae. I think he can either win on points or maybe get a stoppage, but I think the value's on the dog in this one, guys. I definitely think he can win this fight. And again, I think the odds should be flipped. I think the guy that has 5 fights in the UFC now it's actually his 5th, so he's got 4. But I think he should be favored over a UFC newcomer who has a padded record. That's my opinion. So I would favor Nicolae slightly to win this fight. What's your thoughts, man?
Very difficult, man, to be really honest. I think I agree fully with your take, but Nicolae Negumereanu hasn't really impressed me, man, in the UFC. You know what I mean? If you look at the Kennedy and Zachary fight, I think he didn't win that one. He won against Villanueva, but no disrespect to the guy, but who doesn't, in the UFC. Alexa Kamer, a split decision, and the Safaro fight was pretty horrible. Man, I know he's a favorite, but I'm taking a gamble here. I'm taking a gamble. I think Potieria might knock him out in the first round, man.
The only thing I'll say is, like, Nicolae's been underrated by the odds. Like, he was underdog against Kamer and against Kennedy in one of both those fights. So he's 2-1 now as an underdog. Like, that's a good record. Sorry, he's actually 2-2 because he fought Saparov a couple of years ago. He was a favorite. No, that's an underdog. Yeah, he's 2-0 as an underdog, and he's 0-2 as a favorite. So in the underdog role, he's done well. But again, it's interesting, right? Like, people are right about him when they're wrong, and when they're wrong about him when he's right. So it's not like a fight I have total confidence in because these guys are like lower level in the division. I think you could get this one right, Marcel, because this guy Ihor did look good on Contender. But again, like, I'll take the guy with the experience in the UFC.
I got you fully, man. I'm fully in doubt with this one, so I can't go either way, in my opinion.
Next fight here, we have a UFC women's flyweight bout between Yeon Kim and Joselyne Edwards, who's taking the fight on, I wouldn't like say super short notice because she obviously fought last month in Singapore, but she is filling in for. Pardon?
It's 135.
Oh, they moved it up in weight. Okay.
No, it was because Edwards can't make 125.
Yeah,
it's a short notice.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so it moved up in weight. You guys have it at 125, by the way, on Tapology, just so you know.
No, for 135 here, man.
It says on.
That somebody probably just changed it. Maybe I didn't change it.
Someone literally just changed it because it literally just said 125. I have it up. Is it you that changed it? It's probably you, right?
No. Who? Me?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Well, good change. Okay, so it's 135. There you go. Someone fixed it. And literally, I have it on my screen, so it said that.
I understand.
Yeah. Odds for this one, Marcel. Sorry. I was going to say she's filling in for Maria Agapova. Mm-hmm. I thought Agapova would win this fight. I got to be honest. I was going to pick her against Kim just because I think she's so dangerous, but the cardio is bad. Anyway, so this fight, we have Edwards, a small favorite now, minus 125, Kim plus 105. So again, it's at 135 now too. And John said, look, John was right. See, John, I was right. It did say 125, just refresh. Marcel's the one fixing it there. He gets Mr. Tapology editor here. Who's your pick, Marcel?
Man, Yeon Kim, I got to be honest here, man. In her last 2 fights, she could have got the win, I think definitely against Cachoeira, she got screwed, in my opinion. I think she clearly won that fight. I think she's tough. I think she can make against, I think, not top 10 and up, but under the top 10, she can give a lot of girls a tough fight. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you look at Joselyne Edwards, she's actually a 130. She's a 135, and Kim now goes up to 135 to fight her. I actually didn't think Edwards looked great, man, against Ramona Pascual. I think we both had Pascual winning, remember?
And, it was super close. Honestly, the numbers say that we were probably wrong about that, but
I know.
I felt like she did edge it out. But yeah, it's worth mentioning.
Yeah, so I remember when Edwards came to the UFC, she did well taking Wu Yanan, but after that, she got pretty much she got dominated by Jessica Rose Clark on the ground. Remember, this is a difficult one for the simple reason that it's at 135 and it doesn't favor Kim at all at 135, I think. But Kim is a more talented fighter, in my opinion. I'm going with her with a decision.
There you go. So she actually opened as the favorite, Ji-Yeon Kim here. She opened at minus 150, and the line's basically flipped now. I gotta be honest with you, Marcel. I definitely think it's gonna be a competitive fight, but I like Edwards in this one, man. Again, the weight class I think definitely suits her as well. But I just think after that last fight, like that's a decent win. You know, just the overall performance was decent. And Kim, I just think is very hittable. You know, I think she's very, very hittable. Like she doesn't move her head a lot. She's lost 3 straight fights, not coming in here with any momentum. I don't know, man. I mean, she's been competitive in her fights, but she's not really winning them. At least Edwards is getting some wins. Like you can't be super confident in either of these girls. They're not like world beaters by any means, but I do think Edwards will get the job done. So we're in disagreement on this one as well, which is good. I like some disagreement, Marcel. I'll go with Joselyne Edwards by decision. I'm pretty sure this fight goes the distance. That's minus 400. Wow, that's crazy. Do you see a finish at all? Is there any way you can get a finish? Because that's plus 300 for a stoppage.
Not really. I think it's not
either fighter getting a stoppage. I mean, I just don't see it playing out that way. So I can see where the odds are 4-1 for the decision. Yeah, I think it makes sense. So Adam's seeing different ways like William Souza. I mean, he thought the fight was a featherweight, apparently. I'm just kidding. I don't really know what that guy's thinking. Like Kim in this one, Edwards doesn't impress me. It doesn't really for me, but honestly, Kim doesn't really impress me either. So it's lesser of the two evils for me, guys. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie about that William Souza guy, man. You know, you gotta fight somebody on Tuesday. You know, tomorrow. You're kind of a schmuck, dude. If you're coming in 10
yeah,
pounds.
Yeah, you screwed over the other guy. Did the other guy get his show money or no?
Farid Basharat, I have no idea.
I saw that MMA Junkie were saying like they're not sure if he's getting his show money, which is complete fucking garbage. Yeah. It's only 5,000 anyways. They gotta pay the guy's money. Pay him his money. The other guy shouldn't get a dime. They should send him back to Brazil on a plane and never see him again. So unprofessional. So unprofessional. Marcel's an editor Tapology. That's awesome. He is, yeah. Ji-Yeon can be faster than Pascual Land more frequently, I think. Probably. Yeah, she's definitely a good striker. There's no doubt about it. I think Edwards is the better overall fighter. That's why I'm picking her. But I could be wrong about this one, guys. I mean, it's let's be honest. It's a lower level women's fight at 135. They're not even in the right weight class really necessarily. So that's what makes it weird too. All right, I think that's good. We've definitely given that fight more than enough time, Marcel. Let's go to the next fight here. Actually, I'm going to start this one off, Marcel, because we got my namesake here, my boy here, Marcel. We got Adam Fugitt taking on Michael Morales. I mean, this fight it's actually a good fight. So Morales was supposed to fight Ramiz Brahimaj. I'm telling you right now, I was going to bet on him in that fight. The line is too high now, though, in this fight. That's the problem here. So Morales is minus 650, and Fugitt's plus 425. Okay, so look at your thoughts. Obviously, Morales should win this fight. I mean, the guy's really talented prospect. Looked phenomenal in his debut. 13-0, most wins by knockout. Looked amazing against Trevin Giles, right? There's everything I like about this guy, okay? So I'm obviously going to pick him. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm picking him to win. But I actually really like this Adam Fugitt guy, Marcel. I didn't really heard of him, to be honest with you, but I watched his tape last night. He's actually a very good fighter. I think he's a very good MMA fighter. Very well-rounded, good submission game, good striking. He picked up a massive win in his last fight. He was a plus 350 underdog, and Solomon Renfrew knocked him out 43 seconds. And his fights in Hawaii where he was submitting these guys was very impressive too. So this is a good signing, I think, by the UFC. I think this guy's going to win a fight or two, Marcel, in the UFC. I think he's a very good fighter. I just hate this fight for him on short notice. I hate the matchup for him. It's not a winnable fight, in my opinion. I think he gets knocked out. That's the way to go here, I think. You go Morales by knockout. That's the way to go. There's no betting line. Under 1.5 rounds, minus 130, maybe. But, I mean, that's kind of sketchy because it could easily go over 1.5 and still get finished. I would look for maybe Morales by stoppage. I think that's the way to go in this fight. But I do like Fugitt. I think he's a good fighter. I don't know if you've seen this guy fight before, Marshall. He's actually pretty good, in my opinion. Any thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, when Adam got the call, it was like, fuck it, we're going to do it. Yeah,
I actually wasn't sure to pronounce his name. Then I watched the tape and they were saying Fugitt, right?
I know. But, I mean, I saw his fight, obviously, against Solomon Renfrew because I think Renfrew is a good talent, and probably could have got signed off the Contender Series, but he stopped him, I was impressed with that. Yep. But dude, Michael Morales, I've been impressed with him since I saw him in the Contender Series. He defeated Nicolae Veretanikov. I think that was Dariush's guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he got the win over Giles, and he finished him in the first round. It was a pretty big win. It was on the pay-per-view, I remember. I think the first pay-per-view of the year was that. Yeah, I think Michael Morales is a bad matchup for a lot of guys, and definitely if you make your debut. Fugitt is a good fighter. I also go with Morales, and I think also he gets a stoppage win here.
Yeah, this seems clear to me, honestly, because Fugitt, I think if he wins, he has to get into the ground. I think he's going to have a problem doing that. So, really good fighter, but just a bad matchup for him, in my opinion. So, but I do like the guy. Fugitt's fought really unexperienced fighters. Unexperienced? I don't know about that. I mean, I would say like his opposition hasn't been too bad. I mean, Saul Renfro is pretty good, and then the other guys he fought in Hawaii are veterans too. Not the greatest, definitely not the greatest, but I mean, he's fought like Austin Mangerford. I think his level of competition has been decent. Mm-hmm. Honestly, Morales, like a lot of the guys he's fought before the UFC weren't experienced. Like I haven't even heard of half these guys. So I feel like go ahead.
I gotta think. I gotta ask you, man. Sure. What did you think about ex-MMA this week?
I didn't see it.
The Pena interview. You didn't see it?
Didn't see it. What did he say? I know Will Brooks beat him, right?
Yeah, he was like, I got portrayed as the bad guy now, and I tried to embrace it a little bit.
Did he beat his girlfriend up or something?
Yeah. I was like, what are you saying, man?
That's weird. Allegedly, I should say. I don't want to get in trouble here, but yeah. Morales by knockout probably. But I think Fugitt's good too. I think so too, man. He's actually good. Great grappling, man. Really good grappling. Topuria Barboza gets out of 280. Yeah, apparently Topuria's getting a fight. So I mean, hopefully that's the fight. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Rafa Garcia against Drakkar Klose, and this one's also short notice because Diego Ferreira pulled out again. Marcel, I really like Diego, but he pulls out of a lot of fights. Don't you think? Like at this point, like he's pulling out of half of his fights, I'd say. So it's unfortunate because he's a good fighter. So Klose is the favorite here, Marcel, minus 230, plus 195 on Garcia. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So the actual funny thing, not really funny, but funny thing was that Diego Ferreira, I think, posted on his Instagram that he was out on his stories. And you saw in the same picture, you saw Ramiz Brahimaj, who was also injured, but this fight wasn't called off yet. So everybody was like, what's happened to Ramiz? What happened to Ramiz? And he's also out. What I think about this fight, I think Drakkar Klose is an underrated fighter, man. That's what I think. I think many people, for some reason, many people dislike Drakkar Klose. I always see hate comments on him, And it was pretty much maybe because of, it maybe stemmed from the Diakese fight in 2017, where we celebrated in front of Diakese that he won, and that he said all English fighters sucks besides Michael Bisping. But I mean, Diakese pretty much provoked him the whole damn week, so I don't take anything from it. I think he's a very solid fighter. He went, and also he got the hate for that Jeremy Stevens thing where he couldn't do anything about it. Came back against Brandon Jenkins, but this is a guy who's really under his level, in my opinion, and he got a good win, a KO win in the second round. If you look at Rafa Garcia, I got to give him credit as well, man. I always have picked against him, I think, so far in the UFC, and he's always done well. I picked again for him in the Gritsmacher fight, and he lost that one. So he's pretty much my Paul Craig.
Yeah.
What you have.
Yep.
Now he's fighting Drakkar Klose. So I feel like Drakkar Klose is a more talented guy. I think Drakkar Klose can be in the top 15. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Still, I'm picking Drakkar Klose, so probably guys push your money on Garcia because I always fuck Garcia's pickup.
Don't jinx it.
I take Klose.
I like Klose too. I actually really like him in this fight, though, so I think it's a good matchup for him because Garcia's a good fighter. There's no doubt about it. He's proven it now at this point, right? He's got 2-2 wins in the UFC, and arguably should have beat Gritsmacher. He could be 3-1. Okay, so, but here's the thing, Marcel. Almost all his wins are by submission or by decision, where he's taking guys to the ground and beating them up. Do you see him taking down Drakkar Klose? I don't see that happening at all. And on the feet, Drakkar is the better striker, in my opinion. He looked phenomenal in his last fight. After 2 years away, comes back. I know Brandon Jenkins is not that good, let's be honest, but looked phenomenal. And this is a guy who has a lot of experience now, Marcel. He's beat Bobby Green. He's beaten Mark Diakese. He's beaten Landon Venata. He's got some good wins on his resume. The Darius fight was looking good until he got clipped, right? I think this is a good fight for him, especially because he had the full camp. Rafa's coming in on short notice. And as we know, short notice guys more often than not lose. And And that's something I'm really going to consider more going forward, not picking short notice fighters as much. I think I could do it too much sometimes, and it burned me with Curtis and Mason Jones last week. So I'm going to watch that a little bit going forward. Just something I'm trying to look for leaks in my game, right? Myself. I really like Drakkar Klose in this fight, Marcel. I think the odds are actually good odds, to be honest. Minus 225 is, to me, a good price to pay on this guy if you like him like I do. So I like Drakkar Klose. I think he wins a decision. Garcia is very tough, so I think he's going to win decision, Marcel. Is that kind of how you see going? Decision?
Yeah, I would pick a decision as well. I think Rafa Garcia is really tough, so that's pretty much how I see it going as well. And listen, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Rafa Garcia somehow wins because I always pick his fights wrong. So he loves to prove me wrong. So, but I'm going with Klose.
Klose is probably going to be the best bet for me this week. I'll just say that right now. I mean, I really like him in this fight. So hopefully your streak actually ends here, Marcel. All right, let's get to the next fight here, guys. This one's going to be interesting. I got a lot to say about this fight. So,
well, you go first then.
I'll go first on this one. So we got Dontel Mays. He was supposed to fight Justin Tafa. I was going to pick him in that fight. Now he's fighting Hamdy Abdelwahab. So I got to be honest with you. I didn't know much about this guy. Now I do, obviously. I saw him get signed. I'm like, a guy with three wins and no losses. That's kind of weird to sign this guy. Then obviously I hear about his Greco-Roman Olympic wrestling experience. He was on the team, I think, in 2016 for Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. So he has that experience. And then obviously he's fought for Jorge Masvidal's promotion, Icon fights, and then also for his Gamebred fighting championship where it's MMA with no gloves. So he's fought those guys. Okay, so listen, I like I said, I hadn't heard much about him. Watch the tape on the guy. He definitely could punch, and he's got some wrestling too. So there's some things I like, but again, the level of competition is really bad. And I just want to show you guys. I know this picture's been floating around. I'm going to play the video for you guys. Yeah. It's been floating around on social media today, but I saw it the other day, and I was going to show it, but I'm going to show it again. This is his last fight against Matthew Strickland. This is a guy that he's fought twice now in 5 fights, and he's knocked him out both times. Spoiler alert. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, Marcel. This is the guy he just fought. Look, guys, how do you beat this guy and get in the UFC? I mean, look at this dude. This guy's not a fighter at all. What is this? You know what I mean? So this is just crazy. I'll show you guys the fight. Obviously, Hamdy's in good shape. He's obviously, a strong dude. There's no doubt about it. Watch the fight. It's very quick. It doesn't last very long. He's definitely got, some good punching power here. But look at the guy he's fighting. This guy sucks. Marcel, this fight's a joke. This is what gets him in the UFC, basically. He beat this guy twice. I just think the level of competition is terrible. That's what I think about this. So there's a lot to like about this guy because he's definitely a good wrestler and he's got punching power. But Marcel, with this level of competition, I can't pick him. I thought I was going to, but I can't. Even against a guy like Dontel Mason, I don't think's great, but I think Dontel is so big, 6'6". He's a huge guy. He's going to have a hard time, I think, wrestling him. So he's going to have to trade on the feet, and he's got a 7-inch reach disadvantage as well. He doesn't have any real experience going long in fights. There was one fight against one guy where he went to the 3rd round, but he was looking a bit tired, in my opinion, in that fight. I don't really trust him to go the distance either. So he could win the fight, guys. He's definitely got the skills because he got the wrestling background, some punching power, but I think the level of competition is just terrible, Marcel. That guy he just knocked out sucks. I'm sorry to say it, guys. I'm not trying to be a hater, but that guy stinks. And he got two of his 5 wins over that guy. That's basically me going. He basically knocked me out twice, Marcel, to get in the UFC. Come on. Basically the same thing. I know Mays isn't that good, guys. Honestly, he's not great. But to be honest, looking back at the Parisian fight, it looks better now, doesn't it, Marcel? Finishing that guy? That looks better in hindsight after Parisian got that last win. And then the losses start to gone and nasty mental. Those aren't bad losses at all. So I'm going to go with Dontel Mays in this one, Marcel. I got to go with the guys more experienced in the UFC. Again, it's low-level heavyweights. You never really know, but the level of competition is just, to me, so bad that I can't pick this dude. What's your thoughts, Ben?
With you talking about Mace against Parisian, I remember he tried to dry fuck him in the mouth. Remember that?
Oh, God. Yes. You know what's funny? I typed in Dontel Mays on YouTube the other day because I wanted to watch his old fights, and that was the thing, the hump. I'm like, the hump? Oh, I'm like, oh, yeah, that. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
I know you showed me this clip. Now I have to laugh again. Yeah, man, it's like somebody fighting me, man. That's
what I'm saying. You got 2 5 wins over you, Marcel. So
yeah, it look like a trained fighter against a fat fuck. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's what it looked for me. So that's like a trained fighter against me. Yeah, I mean, can he knock Dontel Mace out? Yes, he can. But do I really have to sit on that? You know what I mean? Have to wait for that, because how does it go if it goes further than longer than that round? Dontel Mace decision, man. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Marcel.
Uh, oh
Here's
yeah.
your guy. Here he is. Dude, that's the most devastating finishing move I've ever seen in my life, man. Crazy.
But that's why they also don't do man versus women fights, you know.
Man, I know. Oh yeah, that's you. Glad they had the react. Glad this is too funny. I think this Strickland guy's 0-1. I can't believe this. Even Belter wins. The next Hamza. Like, listen, he's definitely a good wrestler. Yeah, he does. He's a New York guy. So I watched his old fights too on. There's one from like New Jersey. He looks a lot small. I don't know if he's really a true heavy. I know his weight is there, but like Dontel Mace is 6'6", and he's like, I think he's 265, Marcel. Like, he's a legitimate heavyweight. That's the problem I have here. Because I think honestly, this guy might have a better career than him, but I don't know if I can pick him in this fight. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't say Hamdy's bad or whatever, you know, but
no, I don't think he's bad,
we don't know enough
yes.
to be fully backing him here, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, maybe we think different in the second fight, and he completely shuts us up, you know.
No, I think like a lot of people were feeling the same way, because if you look at the odds, they opened Hamdy as his favorite -120, and the odds are flipped now. Mace is -150. So I think people feel the same way as us. What are you gonna say?
Oh my God, the Uber jinx is in the chat.
What's up, Alex? What's going on, man? Alex is going. Glad to have you here, buddy. Glad to have Alex here. But yeah, you just missed showing Matthew Strickland versus. You should watch the rematch too. I mean, we have time for the rematch, right? You guys want to watch the rematch? Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this. Because that's the first fight, I think. Matthew Strickland. I watched both of them. It's just sad to watch, honestly. I think it might have been on Twitter, actually. I think Grabaka Hitman had it on Twitter. Actually, to be honest with you. Let me check here. Let's see here. I don't know if I can even find it. Let's see. Yeah, man, it's just. What are you gonna say?
If you don't find the fight, go to Kapoza.
I'm gonna find it. One sec. Hamdy.
Abdelwahab.
Yeah, 14 seconds. Marcel, talk so we can fill some air here. I want that airspace.
So yeah, guys. What do you guys think about the card? You know, what would you give it before the card? Yeah, I'd love to know.
I don't know if I can find it, actually. Fuck.
No, just search. I will talk a little bit more. So yesterday I had my family over for my birthday. It was really cool, you know. We had something to eat, something to drink. So yeah, it was fun, you know. A little bit late, but man, I never sleep before 5 a.m., so that's no problem. Yeah. Did you find anything yet?
I can't find it. I was looking for I saw it the other day. I don't know where it is now. I definitely saw it, I think, on Twitter. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it. Actually, no, I found it. Here, I found it. I found the rematch. I found the rematch. I found the rematch. I'm sorry. I'm laughing so hard. I just don't understand like why they have to fight twice. Like, okay, so that first one I showed you guys was the bare knuckle fight. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the MMA fight, or so. Here we go. There it is.
Oh,
there we go. That's it.
Okay.
So you fought this guy twice. Why didn't they do the rematch? Was it controversial? Does Mace have good takedown defense? That's what I'm saying. This guy's wrestling is really good, honestly. He's an Olympic caliber wrestler, right? But I think Mace is going to be hard to take down. I mean, he was taken down by Nascimento and gone. I think he could get taken down, but again, like I just don't trust this guy's cardio to hold up for 15 minutes or so. That's the problem I have here. So, John thinks that the prelims, they're better than people expect, maybe. And Marcus is wishing happy birthday. Hot take: Moreno's going to beat Steve again. Oh, Moreno's going to beat Steve again? Yeah, I think he means Cryo France. I don't know. Anyways, let's go to the next fight here. That's it for that fight, Marcel. We spent too much time on it, but it was too much fun not to talk about. All right, Drew Dober versus Rafael Alves. This is an interesting fight. To be honest with you, a little surprised they did this fight, Marcel, because I thought Dober would get the one close to the rankings after that crazy fight with McKinney. Right now, Drew Dober is the favorite, -205, +175. Rafael Alves. What's your thoughts?
Good fight, man. Looking forward to this one. This was actually his first future prelim with this switch with Morono and Semelsberger. Yeah, man, Drew Dober. Good. He got the winner for Terrence McKinney, but he got knocked down twice, I think, in that fight. It was a crazy first round. Maybe the craziest round of the year, right? It's alongside with
Oh
another
my
round.
god, crazy! We've seen some good fights. I kind of forgot how crazy that fight was. It was insane. It was insane. Yeah,
absolute nuts. If you look at Rafael Alves, he has looked good, man. He only lost to Damir, but he had Damir staggered, I remember, in the first round early. And you actually called that was a possibility that it could happen. But he lost. At the Mark Diakese won, very good win. Guillotine choke in the first round. He was a pretty good underdog in that one, if I remember correctly.
he was.
Yeah, where are we going from here? Dober. If I would go with experience in the UFC and the work he has done so far, you would say Dober, right? But Alves is a good fighter, dude, and Alves can win this fight as well. I'm really 50-50 on this one again. A lot of 50-50 fights to me. Gut feeling is that Dober gets it done via decision.
It's a tough one to call, honestly. I feel like this fight can go either way. I think the odds they're fine. Like, they were actually longer earlier in the week when I looked. It was like minus 260, minus 250 the other day. It's really went down, Marcel. So people are betting on Rafael, which I think is fine because he's actually a good fighter with a lot of experience. He's got 30 fights. Marcel, he's not like a spring chicken. But like you said, like, the UFC experience is so invaluable, Marcel. Dober has so many fights in the UFC against so many good fighters. Like, very good fighter over the years. Obviously, massive knockout power, great chin, like one of the best chins. It's insane that he survived that by McKinney, but again, his chin and recovery are second to none, really. But Marcel, his submission defense is not very good. He's been submitted 5 times. So there's a legitimate chance that Alves could grab his neck, grab a guillotine like he did against Mark Diakese, and then submit him with a guillotine or something like that. 3 of his last 4 wins are by guillotine choke, guys. So he's very dangerous with that. I think he's a pretty good fighter, but again, he's lost a lot by stoppage too, Marcel. I think Drew Dober stops him probably, but I don't think I can bet on this fight because I do think this guy has upside potential. So I'm going to pick Drew Dober, Marcel, but again, it's not like a super confident pick. I actually think this card's pretty difficult. A lot of these fights, they're right. You just said the same thing, right?
Next one as well.
Yeah. Fair
in my
enough.
opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. It is actually tricky. So I'll go with Drew Dober, but again, it's a fight that honestly there could be an upset here. It wouldn't completely surprise me because I think Alves is pretty good. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. This is the one you were just alluding to. We have Alex the Great White Morono taking on Matthew Semelsberger, Semi the Jedi. Guy I've liked for a long time, Marcel, as you know. Been betting on him a lot and winning a lot of money on this guy. But now this fight is interesting because the odds makers open at minus 110 each. They're just like, okay, let the betting public figure out who the favorite is, and it's Matthew Semelsberger. He's minus 155 now against Alex Morono plus 135. So I want to hear your thoughts on this because I really like Semelsberger, but Morono's a very underrated good fighter who has a ton of fights in the UFC now. So I feel like this is another competitive fight. What's your thoughts, man?
If your name is Alex Morono, you don't go with the great or the great white. This is his nickname, right?
Yeah.
You go with the moron. You just embrace it, Alex the Moron Morono. I would if my name was Marcel Morono, I go with the moron.
Why is he called the Great White? Is it because is it a shark reference, or is it because he's kind of like a pale guy? Is that why?
I have no idea.
He's kind of pale.
Yeah, he is. Matt Semelsberger. I think he's solid. He only lost to Chaos Williams, right?
Yeah, they both lost to Chaos actually.
Yeah, but Morono got starts in that fight, right? And Semelsberger last fight against AJ Fletcher. I think he had a lot of trouble with AJ Fletcher, which I actually didn't really expect to have so much trouble with AJ Fletcher.
Yep.
I think Morono. I like how Morono. I always like Morono. I think he's a good fighter. I like the way he fights. He's an entertaining fight. He's not a stupid fighter as well overall. Man, I think close fight, dude, but I kind of favor Morono. It's also in Dallas, Texas. He's from what's the name again? God damn it. Fortis MMA.
Fortis, yeah.
So I feel like it's a home advantage for him as well. I think he will do very well. So I'm going with decision win.
It's his 30th fight too as a pro, so he has a ton of experience.
Yeah,
this is Semelsberger's 14th fight. He's got some experience too, but
he's an underrated guy, dude. He's been for some time in the UFC.
I think he's very underrated, man. I think this fight's very competitive. It's tricky, Marcel. I could definitely see Morono pulling it off because I think he's really good, like you said. But I also, Marcel, when I'm really high in a guy, it's hard to get off the train sometimes. I don't know if I can get off it right now because I think Semelsberger could win this fight. Like he could, hurt him on the feet. I also feel like if anyone's going to take someone down, it'll probably be Semelsberger taking him down, maybe. So it's competitive, Marcel. I mean, Morono's a very good striker. He could definitely win this fight. It's close. I'm leaning towards Semelsberger by decision, but it's very, very close. I don't know. I'd like to hear you guys think about this one because it's very competitive.
Man, can you remember when he fought when Morono fought Cannon Song?
Yeah,
that Cannon Song was a favorite back then, and I was like, how?
Yeah.
I was like, how?
Dude. I got Morono last year against what's his name, Cerrone.
Yeah,
and Morono was plus 125. Like that was just easy money. I mean,
we both picked him, right?
Yeah, I think we both picked Cerrone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Morono to beat
Morono.
Cerrone. We definitely picked Cerrone. Yeah, he's underrated. I'm looking at his record right now. Like he does have a couple upset wins here in the UFC, Marcel, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he's a guy that's pulled off the upset more than once against Cannon Song, like you mentioned. A couple other guys here. Let me just double check his record. Max Griffin, he was an underdog against. He beat him as well. He was an underdog. Oh my God, are you kidding me? He was an underdog against James Montosri. Wow, that's crazy.
I tell you, he's super underrated.
Yeah, he really is. Kyle Noke, he was plus 300 against. He's been an underdog in almost half his fights, and he's won like half of them. So he's a very good fighter, underrated fighter. But again, I just really like Semelsberger. I don't know. I'm not confident though. Like I feel like this could be. I almost like want to pick Morono now that I'm looking at those numbers. But again, I really like the Semi the Jedi, man. I really like this dude.
I respect it. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me get some more comments here, guys. Give me Semelsberger, Dave Maryland, where he is. Texas judging, that's true. And this could easily be a split. This could be hometown cookie on this one, taking the dog shot on Morono. It's probably dog or pass now, honestly, because I think minus 110, the opening, that's a good line. Minus 150, like, I can't play Semelsberger now, but I'll still pick him. Again, this card's pretty competitive fight. Very good matchmaking, Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
So, Semelsberger power, that's what I'm looking at, too. We're valuing with Semelsberger.
Maybe I have to retract my comments from the beginning that the prelims sucked. Yeah. Maybe it's okay. I shouldn't have said it.
No doubt about it. Antoine, what's up, man? How's it going? He had a question about Figueiredo Moreno 4 if Brandon wins. Could it be a main event? Probably, but everything we're hearing is Figueiredo will probably move up to 135. It doesn't seem like he wants to cut that weight anymore. I think that's why they did this.
Figueiredo kind of pisses me off, man. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Because I have the feeling he just doesn't want to fight Brandon Moreno again. That's all.
Maybe not. Okay, so that's it for the prelims, Marcel. So really competitive set of prelims, Marcel. We actually were like on the opposite ends of like 3 or 4 fights. So that's interesting. See what happens on Saturday. All right, let's get into the main card, guys. This is the good stuff now. Magomed Ankalaev against Anthony Smith to open up the card. Ankalaev is a massive favorite. Marcel, biggest favorite in the card? Yep. Second biggest because Michael Morales obviously got the short of his opponent. Second biggest favorite of the card, minus 460, Marcel, against plus 370, Anthony Smith. And what's your thoughts on this one, my man?
I was in a podcast today, Dutch podcast, and I was the only one picking Magomed Ankalaev, and I'm still shocked.
Wow.
Listen, man, Anthony Smith is a great fighter. It's super tough. We all know that. But Magomed Ankalaev is one of the future stars in that division, in my opinion. It already cost him 2 years that he got tapped by Paul Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, he would have already been here like a year or 1.5 years ago. I feel like the thing with Magomed Ankalaev is he hasn't took much of a risk in the Santos fight, in the Özdemir fight. He's more fighting safe, And I think Anthony Smith doesn't let him fight safe. And I think when somebody doesn't let you fight safe, the better comes out of it, So for me, I'm thinking Ankalaev, and I think he knocks out Anthony Smith in the first round. That's really what I think.
Wow, that's a big prediction there because I do favor it, but I like him to win the decision personally. Like,
many people go with decision.
Yeah, I don't blame you though because let me check the odds. They have to have odds. Ankalaev by knockout, it's plus 160. Okay, that's it. And it's by decision, plus 125. Well, I thought the knockout would probably be higher because Anthony Smith, he has been knocked out, I think, 9 times, but like a lot of those knockouts were like in his first like 10 fights, Marcel, way back in the day. Like he's very tough. Like they call him Lionheart for a reason, obviously.
Yeah, it's also not like I underestimate Smith, but I'm thinking this high about Ankalaev. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like Ankalaev, man. I think it's a job done, but I think a decision here. The odds are high, but I think he wins. I mean, I'm not picking Smith. There's no real reason to, unless you think this guy will get tired, which I don't think he will. I mean, he hasn't shown that before. Maybe he does knock him out. Maybe that's how it goes. I don't know. I'm thinking decision just because the way the last couple fights went. I think he might play it a little bit safe like he has been, but the guy's continually winning fights. He's actually been very reliable. Got a bet on, except for that first fight with Craig. You have to go with Ankalaev. That's the pick here, right? It has to be. It really did cost him 2 years. I mean, I can't believe he tapped out. I remember watching that fight. You know what? He's fucking crazy about that card. That was the first time in UFC in a 3-round fight. That was the latest ending. So it was 4 minutes, 59 seconds. Later on that card, Leon Edwards knocked out Peter Sabata at 4:59. The same card, they had the latest 3-round endings of all time. The latest stoppage ever was Demetrius Johnson versus Horiguchi. 1 second left in the 5th round, right? If I'm not mistaken. So.
And what is the latest stoppage in the 3-rounder? Let's see if you know.
Well, it's Ricky Simona and Merab, right? Because it was at 5 minutes, which doesn't make any sense, though. I don't understand. They called it, and it was a submission. They called it a knockout, too. So
yeah. It's so stupid.
First time guys that knocked out with a submission. Anthony Smithman only finished once inside 50 minutes in 9 years. Yeah, exactly. He's super tough, dude. That was against Santos, who's a beast. Pick for Friday night. That's a good question. Ooh, it's a tough one. There's still a few fights we haven't talked about yet. I mean, probably co-main event or Morono Semelsberger could win. And call me crazy, but it wouldn't surprise you if they do give the women the bonus if Kim and Edwards is a really good fight, which it could be. So those are kind of what I'm looking at. But I feel like there's more like knockouts and submissions, if anything. There'll probably be more performance bonuses handed out. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Michael? It's just terrible. He's fucking tough as hell. That's why I'm leading decision, but I don't blame Marcel for taking a shot at the knockout either, especially at plus 160. Okay, Alexandre Pantoja against Alex Perez, Marcel, your boy in the flyweight division here. This is a really good fight. They're both super experienced. They each have the same record, 24-5 for Pantoja and 24-6 for Perez. So 2 guys with almost identical records. Another interesting fight, Marcel. The odds opened up with Pantoja is a pretty big favorite here, minus 275. He opened, and now he's minus 175 with the comeback on Perez plus 130. So what's your thoughts, man?
I think it's a super close fight, to be honest, man. If you look at Pantoja, he's really decent, really good on the ground, I have to say, man. His jiu-jitsu is good. His stand-up is okay, I think, If you look at Alex Perez, if you compare the two, I think Alex Perez doesn't have a better BJJ game, but definitely has a better wrestling game than Pantoja. Stand-up, I think Perez better stand-up than Pantoja, in my opinion. If you go to the last 2 fights of Pantoja, he looked good in those fights. I think the Manuel Kaat, many people were like, there were even people thinking Manuel Kaat when I think Pantoja won that fight because Manuel Kaat didn't let his hands go. In this most recent fight, the Royval finish was very good by Pantoja, in my opinion. If you look at Perez hasn't fought since his Davis Figueiredo loss, man. 6 fights canceled, 4 against Schnell, 2 against Askarov. This is a good fighter, I think in the Figueiredo fight, if you look back at it, and nobody talks about it. It actually kind of annoys me, If you look at that fight, Figueiredo adjusted his position twice by grabbing the cage very shortly, and that's where he could put pressure on the guillotine and choke them out pretty quick. Difficult fight, man. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to a decision somehow, or a close split decision. Listen, man, you can say I think Pantoja's the favorite here,
Yeah.
Dog or pass, I'm taking the dog here. Perez, close decision.
Perez is a really good fighter. I mean, he definitely could win this fight. I just have a hard time trusting after all those like botched fights, botched weight cuts, missed fights, so much training camps and didn't get to perform. It's hard for you to trust him, but man, he's looked impressive over the years. Like that Formiga fight was incredible, and some of the other knockouts and submissions he's had. He's a very good fighter.
Short Torres, right?
Yeah, for sure. That was nasty too. So he's good. There's no doubt about it. But Pantoja, I think, is also very good. I think he's very underrated, Marcel. He's got some really good wins now. Like, he's only really lost to the elite guys for the most part. He's just a really good fighter. He does actually have a win over Moreno, too, on the show. And in the UFC, he's got 2 wins over Moreno. So be interesting if they ever fought. It's competitive, but I'm leaning towards Pantoja. Like, my head says decision, but looking into, like, the records, Perez mostly loses by submission. So he might submit him, too. I think there's a possibility of a submission. I want to see what the odds are on this one. Do we have them out? All right. Pantoja by decision is plus 135. The inside this is plus 225. The submission prop plus 600. There has to be some value in that because almost all of Perez's lost here by submission. So that might be something to look at, guys. Plus 600 a sub prop. It's going to either be a decision, I think, or a sub. But I got to go with Pantoja to win the fight. Pantoja's never been finished. Perez 2 years out, 5 to 6 ending in the first round. See Pantoja decision. That's what I think, Clint. But I think the submission's possible too. Ankalaev wins as a get your maybe, but I think they're going to do the fight with what's his name, Glover. They'll probably do the rematch, which I think he deserves. I think Patty could fight in New York City a pay-per-view in November. Probably. I mean, it would be fine. Phil starches Santos. They probably make him an Ankalaev. Very good chance. Actually, that makes sense too. Hill is a beast, man. He's coming along really nicely. So, all right, Marcel, that's it for that fight. We only have a couple left to break down here, guys. So let's get through them. Next fight here. Derrick Lewis taking on Sergei Pavlovich. Marcel, heavyweight fight. Heavyweight fight. I do not expect to go 3 rounds. I don't think many of us do. Someone's getting knocked out in this fight. I'll say that right now. And I'm pretty sure I know who's going to get knocked out, but I want to hear your thoughts first, Marcel. So odds for this one, minus 110 each. It's literally a pick 'em, Marcel. It's a pick 'em fight. It's the closest odds on the card. I want to get your pick on this one, Marcel.
I can be really quick about this one, to be honest, dude. I think Sergei Pavlovich knocks him out in the first round.
Dude, I like him too. I'm just going to say it right now. I like Pavlovich too. I'm surprised the odds are so close. I mean, I guess it's a lot of respect to Lewis because obviously, he's been an underdog over the years. He's like Morono, Marcel. So many upsets as an underdog, right? Like, even against Chris Dawkins, he was an underdog, like last year. But the problem with Derrick Lewis is, like, he can also get knocked out. He's been knocked out a bunch of times. Pavlovich is, the younger guy by quite a bit. I want to look at the numbers for a second. Let me pull them up. All right, so Pavlovich is 7 years younger. He has a 5-inch reach advantage. They're both the same height. He's also a southpaw. He's more fresh. He's been stopped once by Orion, but Orion took him down and beat him up on the ground. It's a different type of fight. I don't think that Lewis has any wrestling to take this guy down. And obviously that was 3 years ago too. Marcel, like, it's
it was his debut
fight.
As well.
Yeah, I picked Orion in that fight. Orion is the underdog in that fight. I thought that was crazy value at the time, and obviously turned out well. But again, it's a different fight now, right? I would obviously pick Pavlovich now 3 years later because the guy's just coming along really nice, tons of power. Again, Lewis coming off a knockout loss to Ty. 2 of his last 3 fights ended in him getting knocked out. He's got the power, Marcel. Obviously, he's knocked out a bunch of guys, Blades, Dawkins. I hope I'm not undervaluing him too much because obviously he's been a guy that I backed a lot as a dog over the years. He's good, but I think he gets KO here, Marcel. I like it for Pavlovich. I think he gets the job done. And comments, Pavlovich. If Pavlovich also Lewis gets Blades won't take the fight. Blades won't take it, but I think it makes sense. He wants to fight the winner, gone 2 visa. Hope Lewis doesn't try to take down or spinning kicks against Pavlovich. He might get KO if that happens. Texas Kurtz for Lewis. He hasn't fought very well in Texas, it's true. He got knocked out by Gone in Texas. The 2 basic fight was also in Texas, got knocked out. It's been a few times. I mean, he has won though. He beat Tabura in Texas, so he has won there before. But you're right. I mean, he's been knocked out more often than not when he fights in that state. It looks like so. Well, he beat Ihor the Tifi, although I don't think Linus thought he actually won that fight. Listen, man, I like Derrick Lewis a lot. I just think he's fighting a young beast with a ton of power and speed and just viciousness. I'm going with Pavlovich. But I will say this, Marcel, if he can survive the first round, believe it or not, I think Lewis will have the better cardio, believe it or not. So Pavlovich Billy Tank has long arms, has a wrestling background to use it. Yeah. Someone's getting knocked out. If you could look at a bet on like either guy getting knocked out, that's a good bet too, in my opinion. Other than Derrick, I'm not impressed with Pavlovich wins. I'll take an outlier, beat outlier, take Lewis. Yeah, I mean, you're not like an outlier, Glenn, because the odds are literally dead pick 'em. So there's obviously people betting on Lewis. Not me. I like Pavlovich, but it is heavyweight, Marcel. We should mention that. It is a heavyweight fight. So, there's more often than not upsets in this weight class. I just don't know if it's going to be this one. All right, let's get to the co-main event here, Marcel. We got 2 fights left. Brandon Moreno taking on Kai Kara France. This is a rematch, obviously. The first fight, UFC 245. Moreno won a 3-round decision. Actually, I was at that fight. That was the Covington-Houston card. It was a very competitive fight. Moreno edged it out, but it was very close. So the rematch now is 5 rounds instead of 3, obviously, because it's for the belt. Interim title here. Brandon Moreno minus 205. Kai Kara France plus 175. Marcel, I want to hear your thoughts on this one, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced in this one, to be really honest, man. Like I tell you, man, what's the camp's name again? I forgot where it was. Kai fighting out of the New Zealand.
With Garmin and those guys?
Yeah, what's his name again? I forgot.
Why am I forgetting too? City Kickboxing, dude.
City Kickboxing, yeah, exactly. So, in my opinion, City Kickboxing has two real legit guys, and that's Israel Adesanya and Alexander Volkanovski. All the others are pretty good who are in the UFC, but I don't see them as champions or whatever. I think they're riding a lot on the other guys. Same with Kai France for me, kind of same as Dan Hooker, in my opinion. Super tough, can win against top guys, but I don't see him as championship material, man. I know many people will be upset again with me about it. Brandon Moreno, established guy, came back in the UFC after being cut. Did very well, got the title in the second showing. The first one was a draw, right? Second one he won. Third one was close to me. It could have gone to him as well, in my opinion, but went to Figueiredo. Nicely fight Kai France. Kai France knocked out Cody Garbrandt. Got the win over Askarov, which was a close fight, in my opinion. People act like he dominated Askarov. I didn't see that. Yeah, man, I'm going with Moreno, dude. I think Moreno subs him as well in the third round. So I'm going with Brandon Moreno submission.
Here's a good question. I like this question. Joe's asking, who do you think improved the most since 245, Moreno or Care France? That's the question I'm asking myself about this one, because I don't think this fight's as easy as you think it is, Marcel, personally. I kind of disagree with your take on this one.
I'm 100% sure Moreno takes it.
Bro, I'm not sure. I'm actually going to go with the upset here, guys. I'm going to go with Kai France. And I wasn't expecting to pick him.
I can't believe that.
I know. But here's the thing. Okay, so listen. I think people are just wrong about this guy, because if you look at his resume, like, he's another guy that's won a lot of fights as underdog. Like, yeah, maybe the fight with Askarov was very close, obviously, right? But like, he still won. He was plus 400, Marcel, against what's his name? Was it Garbrandt? I think he was a slight underdog. Let me double check. I want to make sure.
We both picked him against Garbrandt.
Yeah, he was an underdog in that fight too, though. Like, that's the point. Like, he's not being rated probably by the betting public, and now he's underdog again. Moreno's good. Don't get me wrong. He's really good. But I also look at his last couple of fights, guys, and he's taken a ton of damage. Like, he's taken a lot of damage, Marcel. The last fight with Figgy, he got knocked down 3 times. And I don't know. Like, I mean, he's really good. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to find anything bad to say about Moreno, except for that fact he's taking a lot of damage. Whereas I think France hasn't really taken a lot of damage. I think he's leveled up a little bit, man. I think he's really leveled up. I think he's got a shitload of power for this weight class. He hits like a truck. He's got really good takedown defense. His conditioning's better. Everything. Like, I think this fight's like a coin flip, honestly. So I'll take the plus 175. I'm going to take a shot on him. Like, even the first fight, Marcel, was extremely close. Like, it could have honestly went either way. It obviously wouldn't surprise me if Moreno wins. He's a very good fighter. He's the former champ for a reason. He's a great fighter. But I think Care France, maybe he's catching him at a good time here. So I'll take a shot on Care France. So I'm going to do it. We'll take a shot on him, man. A lot of you guys like Moreno. I understand. I get it. But
bro, it's if I was a hot girl, I would tell you, like, if Kai France wins, I flash next time my boobs. But
I don't want to. I really, guys, we don't want to see that here. We don't need to see that. No, because honestly, my initial thoughts were that Moreno, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But I kind of like Care France. It's not like I love him, but that's my pick. Because I feel like, again, it's a really close fight. I think Moreno is going to, like someone said in the chat, wrestling, like that could be his path here. Because I think if it stays on the feet, he could be in trouble a little bit, because France hits really hard. And you got dropped 3 times against Figgy, guys. Don't forget that. You got knocked out 3 times. And that always worries me, Marcel, when the guy comes back after 3 knockdowns in a fight. So we'll see what happens. I want to get your thoughts on the main event now. This one's going to be interesting. Oh, we got Oddspoker Steve. He's also with me on Kicker France. So there we go. We got 2 guys, me and the other guy in the chat, and like 20 of you guys like Moreno, which is totally fine because he is the favorite here. And he's obviously the crowd favorite as well. And he likes Lego too, which is awesome because Lego's awesome. So there you go. All right, Marcel, let's get to the main event here, my man. Yeah. I can't wait to talk about this one with you. I'm actually really, really excited to talk about this fight with you. So you got Juliana Pena against Amanda Nunes. The rematch, the first fight, I couldn't have been more wrong about the fight. It was not how I went. I thought it would go. And obviously Amanda was a massive favorite, double checking the line. Minus 1250 favorite in that first fight. So Pena was like a plus 1,000 underdog. She pulled off a massive upset. One of the biggest of all time, obviously, in the UFC. One of the biggest we ever saw. Right now, we have for the rematch, Amanda's still the favorite, minus 275, Pena plus 230. What's your thoughts, man, on the rematch? You think she wins again, Pena, or you think Nunes gets her belt back? What's your thoughts?
So I really had the feeling like if you asked me 3 weeks ago, I maybe go with Pena. because I thought like Amanda wasn't really into it last time. But if you look back at it, the first round, she did very well against Pena. She just gassed out. And if you do a little bit more research, Nunes had a bad form of COVID, and maybe that made her. I say maybe, I don't say it's like that, but maybe that made her more gassed out.
Our buddy James has brought this up in his podcast too. He's talked about the long COVID thing. Maybe there's something to that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I said maybe. Sorry, I had to make the reference. So that could be a thing. The other side in me is like, isn't she more busy with her family, with her kid right now? Is she more focused on that? But then I watched some clips of her, and this time I don't see a lot of her kid around the gym this time. Maybe I see the wrong clips. I don't know. And that gave me more confidence in Nunes getting maybe the title back and having that hunger. And I think this time, if she does that first round that she did last time, she gets a finish, So I'm taking Nunes first round knockout.
There you go. Wow. So you feel good about it, eh?
Yeah.
You guys are going to think I'm an idiot, but I'm taking Pena. There we go. I'm going to take Juliana Pena. I just think she can win this fight, man. She already proved that she could beat Amanda Nunes. I didn't expect that to happen, but this is the thing. Okay, so at the time, I thought it was a fluke, obviously, like all of us did. I've watched the fight back like 5 times now. You're right. Amanda did really well and then got tired, but I also think like Pena did really well in that second round, man. Her striking looked better than Nunes's. Like her jab is longer. She was jabbing her face up. She landed so many strikes. She hurt her bad and then finished her. And here's the problem with Amanda. Here's the thing, like, people forget that she's lost before. Like they act like this is her first loss. She also lost to Katsugano. She lost to Alexis Davis. Sarah D'Alio beat her. Like it's not like she's unbeatable. She's lost and she's been finished multiple times too. And usually later in the fight, like when she gets a little tired, when she thinks things are not going her way, she tends to like look for a way out in fights that she's losing, which doesn't happen often, obviously. She's an incredible fighter, man. I think she's probably the best women's fighter of all time because of that win streak. It was amazing, and I still can't believe she lost the first fight, but I think Pena is really good. I've always liked Juliana Pena. She's a good fighter. She's better than all of us think she is, let's be honest. She's a good grappler. She has better striking than we think. Her conditioning is really good. She has a good chin, never been finished. Obviously, she's been submitted a couple times. She's not like an imperfect fighter either. She has flaws. There's no doubt about it. But, Marcel, I think every matchup's different. And I think Juliana Pena matches up decently well against Amanda Nunes. So, for me, like, she's the champ. I feel like she's being disrespected here, honestly, by the betting line because she's a massive underdog again. I think people think it's a fluke. I get it. But to me, it's not like GSP and Matt Serra because that was like a minute into the fight. He clipped him and knocked him out. Like, that can happen to me. This was different. Like, she put on a good show in that second round for a couple of minutes. We'll see. Maybe something to do with the COVID. Maybe Amanda's conditioning was bad. Maybe, like you said, the kid. Maybe the knee injury. Who knows? Like, there's a lot of maybes. But I think whenever you're saying that stuff, you're not giving Juliana enough credit either. Juliana's a good fighter. I think she can get the job done. I think the value's on her. Again, I know people are going to think I'm wrong, which I totally understand because I didn't expect her to win the first fight, but I do think she wins. And honestly, I feel pretty good about it, Marcel, that one of these two underdogs in the main event and the co-main event will win. I don't think both the favorites will win. I do think the value's on both the dogs personally. So take a shot on Pena, and you know how I'm going to take her by TKO, Marcel. I think she can get her back and pound her out. That's what I think is going to happen here. So I know I'm in the minority here, obviously, because the odds are where they say they are, but that's my read on the fight. So,
I mean, I can see your Pena road, I can see that, but the guy, God, dude, we got to talk about this next week.
Dude, you thought
maybe I'm absolutely wrong.
Destroy Baskarov, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe I'm absolutely wrong. It's definitely possible. I've been wrong before.
Yeah,
but man, I'm so surprised you're going with Kai. I really am. Maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking it too, but the more I thought about the fight, I'm just going to take a shot on him. But we'll see. Right. I could be. I don't think I'll be the only one oddsbreaker taking a shot on him. By the way, I think on the staff pool, I think you'll see like maybe 3 or 4 guys. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the fight with Katsugano and the fight with Alexis Davis, they got on her back or got on mount position and pounded her up. She got tired. That's kind of what I think happens. The last fight, I know what he's saying. Yeah, I get what he's saying now. Whatever. I mean, come on, guys. We're all adults here. Actually, maybe Wani's a kid. Maybe. I don't know. Marcus, I'm mad at anyone taking a shot at Pena. I question Nunes' heart and desire to fight after senior time. He actually was the one who sent me the clip of the choke. Like, if you watch that, Marcel, she did not have the choke in at all.
No.
She didn't even have it in. She just wanted to weigh out. And I think she even basically said that. James did a great interview with Laura Sanko where Laura talked about this fight. And Laura talked about the knee injury to Nunes and said, like, she didn't have the right training the last 3 weeks where she really needed to push. But she also talked about how she's not a quitter, but we've seen a few times, and also Chael Sonnen actually was talking about this too, where if things are not going her way in Marcel, she does look for a way out, and she has in a couple of fights. Usually things go her way. Usually she beats the shit out of her opponents, right? She's amazing. But, Marcel, like that Katzengano fight that happened, the Lexus Theater fight that happened. So it's not like it's just happened to Pena, and people think that's the only time it's happened. It's happened before. So, yeah, I mean, it should be an interesting fight. I think they're both really interesting fights, personally. I think this whole card is really interesting, and like I said, Marcel, I do feel like one of the underdogs is going to win. I'll take a shot on both and hope to be profitable. Let's take a shot on them. Let's do it. All right. Most confident picks in the card. Moreno's your most confident?
No, Ankalaev. Ankalaev, Morales, Morono. Ankalaev, Morales, Morono. Let's see. Let's hold it at these three. Yeah.
Drakkar, Klose, Morales, and Ankalaev. Those are my three. Those are probably my three most confident. I wish the line on Ankalaev was a little better, but I think he wins for sure. I'm pretty confident he wins. Hamdy's my most confident. I mean, it's kind of funny.
It's possible, if you think it's. I mean,
Pena,
everybody has different view.
Yeah, Marcel, TKO injury for third straight week.
Yeah.
Pena said in the build fight, he has gotten to a field position when Cat ragdolled her. Well, there you go. Thanks, Marcus. Appreciate it, buddy. What would I give this card? 1 to 10? Like an 8, probably? It's a pretty good card. What do you think?
I give it a 7.
There you go, 7. Marcel's definitely harder to please than me, I would say. And I mean that in the most respectful way.
We watch everything, so.
Exactly. We do watch everything. We watch it. That's what I say. We're like, this card's not the good. I'm like, Marcel, you're going to watch it anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for UFC 277. Again, we had some different picks. We had let me count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 6 fights that we had different picks on. That's crazy to me. So that's interesting. Yeah, next show will be Sunday. Worth it.
Yeah, man. Sunday, fun day.
10 a.m. Eastern time. That'll be the next podcast. All right. Let's go to the contender series really quick, Marcel, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, only 4 fights, right?
Yeah, there's 4 fights. So talk about what happened today. Tell the people if they missed what happened.
So this William Souza guy, he came in 10 pounds too heavy, and commission won't let him fight Basharat. So fight is off.
He's in a different weight class. That's why.
Yeah.
He's not in the same weight class anymore, so they can't do the fight. Unless the other guy agreed to fight at 146 at featherweight. Because
why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you do that? Right? Because the minimum weight I think is 136 for a featherweight fight. But again, or maybe it's 137 or whatever it is. Like whoever comes in at that weight, anyways, right? So
Adam picked Semelsberger and I picked Morono.
Someone else? Yeah. Gorilla, what's up, man? Appreciate the comments, my man. Okay, we'll go through this card quick. I'm going to pull up Tapology too because honestly, I don't really know these guys that well. These are not like strong leans. They're just like slight leans because let's be honest, guys. These are all new fighters, so there's not much to talk about really.
So the co-main event is off.
Yeah, so I actually like Farid in that fight. He's obviously Javid's brother, and I thought he would have won. He's very good too. So that he was a favorite of almost. Yeah, he was the big favorite in that. Okay, so let's go to the first fight. We'll do this quickly, Marcel. Alexandre Cosce against Andres Luna Martinetti. Odds on this one: Cosce minus 265, Martinetti plus 225. I mean, do you agree with those odds? Because this guy's never lost before, and he's like a decent underdog here. I don't know about that. What do you think, man?
It's difficult, because I think he probably has a lot of fights in the regional scene, right, in South America. I figure.
Yeah. But I mean, the competition is not terrible. Like these guys have records.
Yeah, true. What?
But again, I don't know. UWC is a good promotion in Mexico. Yeah. Calf slicer. He had a calf slicer his last fight. It's interesting. This dude Costa 10-2. Lux Fight League is obviously another good promotion in Mexico. The competition seems kind of similar, Marcel. I don't know. I feel like the odds are a little wide, don't you?
I think he has, but he fought better competition, dude. If you look at the names.
Yeah.
Diego Ortiz, Jorge Calvo Martin.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's your pick then, I guess.
Yeah,
we'll go with the odds, but I do feel like this is dog or pass, guys, because I don't know. To me, it seems kind of weird that your undefeated guy would be such a big underdog. But all right, go to this fight: Dennis Bazooka against Kaleo Romero. Bazooka minus 200, Romero plus 170. I know you know these guys decently well. Bazooka obviously fought Melsick.
Yeah, Baktasarian.
he has like a decent level competition. Obviously, Ring of Combat's a good promotion. So, and he fought in Bellator too.
He's a training partner of Aljo, right?
Yep. And then Romero, I don't know a ton about this guy. Combachi Global guy. Okay, so that's interesting. I honestly don't know a ton about him, but I do know that
I'm going with Bazooka, man. I'm going with Bazooka.
Yeah, he should win. And then we got a couple other fights. Anton Turkaj against Acacio dos Santos, 7-0 against 14-4. Turkaj minus 190, Dos Santos plus 160. So this guy, the undefeated guy, is the favorite. It's a light heavyweight fight. Probably someone gets knocked out. One thing I noticed was
Brave.
Yeah, the Dos Santos guy only came in at 201 pounds or something, so he's very light for this division. This guy fought Gustafsson? Is this another Gustafsson?
No, it's
he fought it in what?
Grappling, I think.
Oh, in grappling. Sorry, I'm dumb. I didn't notice that. Okay. Didn't notice that. I was like, what the hell? Who's your pick? This guy?
Yeah, Anton. Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, he looks like Brave's a good horse.
He was actually supposed to fight last year against that Kolev guy who fought Armin Petrosian.
Right on. This guy's a winner over Matthias Scheffel, who just got a big win in PFL. That's interesting. But, all right, so that's good. And then the last fight here, that fight got canceled. Ozzy Diaz against Joe Pyfer. Odds are 110, minus 110 each. What do you think about this one, man?
It's a fun fight. I think Joe Pyfer already fought in the Contender Series, right?
He got injured, broke his arm or something against.
Against Stoltzfus, right? Yeah, I think he's a good fighter. What I saw so far of his. Gotta say that Jonathan Patti lost doesn't really look good on his record. Difficult, man. Can you also put on Ozzy Diaz? Yeah.
This was a good win. He won the LFA title. He won the middleweight championship.
Murrieta.
Am I crazy for leaning towards Diaz, Marcel?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning in this one, to be honest with you. I don't know how good Pyfer is. I mean, I've heard good things, but
Pyfer is good, but I would also lean towards Diaz, man. Same.
All right, cool. All right, let's get some last comments here. Bo Nickel's good, man. That's going to be on the third episode of this season, I should say. All right, Marcel. I think that's it for this podcast. A lot of fun. We did a ton of fights. Good show today, man. Marcel, plug your stuff. Let's get out of here, my friend.
It's still Big Marcel24 on Twitter and Instagram, and Eurosport.nl Mixed Martial Arts section for the articles.
Twitter at MMAOB podcast at MMAOB.com. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff, guys. We appreciate it. Tell your friends about it. And we got a lot of people in the chat today, which is awesome. Like, it's better when there's people here to talk about the fights with, so I appreciate that, guys. Bookies.com have the best bets out this week. You guys kind of know where I'm leading for some of these fights. And MyMajors.com. But yeah, MMAOBspeaker.com. We have always the opening odds, all that stuff. It's always good to look at the opening odds, in my opinion, just to see where like the odds makers put it and then where the public took the fight. So that's always something to keep in mind. Thanks, Steve, for joining us, man. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we'll be back at Sunday, 10 a.m. for the next podcast. Have a great day, everyone, and hope to cash these tickets at UFC 277. Enjoy the fights. Peace.